Hi there guys, my name is Aaron and you can learn making create together with me in Adobe Photoshop. Today I'm going to show you how you can retouch a portrait step by step using some actions. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here we are in Adobe Photoshop. As you can see, this portrait is looking amazing. But before we start retouching this portrait, make sure to check all the links down in the description because you'll find the raw file and the retouching actions. So let's just zoom in. As you can see, we need to clean this portrait first. So I'm just going to click here on clean and click play. Wait until it's done. Zoom in where I want to start cleaning. And today I'm going to use spotting brush tool for clean. Make a smaller brush and just start cleaning this portrait. I'm just gonna create a selection around the head, just like this. And I will be using clone stamp tool to clean the ear. Right click and click here on make selection. And I'm going to choose the feather radius by 2 pixels. I'm gonna zoom in. With the clone stamp tool, I'm just gonna copy and paste as near as possible, just like this. You have to copy here and paste it here because we don't want to ruin the colors of the backdrop. Because for example, if you copy here and you paste it here, as you can see, it's kind of too dark, so you have to be careful. A different way is that you can use mixer brush with wet by 100% and flow by 100, and you can just put these colors on top and you will remove the hair. So let's just check a before and after. And as you can see here, we created some dark colors because this is what we did with the clone stamp tool. You have to go back again to the selection and just use the mixer brush again. So let's just check a before and after. And I think that is looking okay. Now here we have a gap where we want to clean this portrait. And I'm just gonna create another selection here. And I think that here will be enough. So make sure that you make a nice selection around the gaps because we don't want to remove them. Just right click and feather radius. Right now I'm going to go by 1 pixel and I'm just going to copy here and just paste it. So here's before and after, and I think that is looking okay. And now that you are done with the cleaning, I'm just going to put the clean and black and white help layer on top and merge these two layers into a single one. And now that I'm done with the cleaning, it's time for the frequency separation. So I'm just going to click here and click play. Wait until it's done. Open the frequency separation group. So we are going to work in the color. And after we are done with the color, we're going to work with the texture. So I'm just going to turn off the texture right now and click here on the mixer brush. Settings for this portrait right now that I'm going to use is that by 10% of the wet, 45 opacity, mix by 33, and flow by 33. And just zoom in where I want to start mixing the skin tones and everything else. So make sure to do this process as slow as possible because we don't want to ruin the colors of this amazing portrait. By the way, shout out to the portrait that made this amazing portrait. He has done an amazing job by providing us with the raw files. He has done an amazing job by taking this amazing picture too, because you are not here only for the raw files. Let me just zoom in here where I want to clean this part because as you can see, it's kind of a shadow under the eyes, and I think that I want to remove it because I don't like it how it looks. Let's just check a before and after. Oops, sorry, something happened. So here's the before and here's an after. So let's just turn on the texture again and check a before and after. And yeah, I think it's starting to look better. But as you can see, we still have some texture to clean because we didn't do a great job with the spotting brush tool. So I'm just gonna click here on the texture. I'm gonna zoom in where I want to start cleaning again and click here on the clone stamp tool. Make a smaller brush, just like that. And click Alt keyboard, click to copy and just paint to paste. So this is how you can clean a portrait with a frequency separation using clone stamp tool, especially working on the texture or in the high frequency. So if you want to clean a portrait like a professional, you can just use clone stamp tool in the frequency separation, especially in the texture. As you can see, we created some loop marks here, but we are going to remove them because they look kind of fake. So make sure to clean this portrait in the texture. You have to be careful that you need to clean, you have to copy paste as near as possible. Sorry, because sometimes when I'm working, I'm just gonna, I make some mistakes by talking because my English is like my second language. And you need to leave some comments down below. Let me know if you understand me or not, because I don't know how to improve my video tutorials if I don't get comments, if I don't get negative or positive comments. So make sure to leave a comment, because sometimes I get some comments like, hey, you don't need to like professionals don't use the frequency separation. The professionals use only dodge and burn. And sometimes I get comments like, hey, a great portrait doesn't need a retouch or something like that. So shout out to them, because this is their opinion and this is what they think. But for my my taste, in the retouching, for example, you need to clean, you need to dodge and burn, you need the frequency separation to make some changes, you need the makeup details, color grading, to balance the light, shadows, and everything else. So I got a comment like last week, and he was telling me that frequency separation is banned in some beauty companies or something like that. So this comment is for him. If you're a professional into retouching, why are you here in my video tutorials? And I asked him this question, and he replied that he was searching for some video tutorials and he clicked in my video tutorial. So basically, when you are searching in YouTube, you see the cover and you like something. For example, you like a before and after that I put in my covers, and this is why you click. So basically, you are liking my work, and this is why you are watching my video tutorials. So here's the before and after what we've done in the frequency separation, and I think that is starting to look better. So when we are done with the frequency separation, it's time for the dodge burn. So we are going to put the dodge burn inside the frequency separation layer. So I'm just gonna click here on the dodge, and I'm gonna zoom in where I want to put some highlights into this portrait. And for the opacity, I'm just gonna go by 100. And for the flow, I'm just gonna go by 10%. I'm gonna turn on the black and white help layer, and I'm just gonna dodge and burn this amazing portrait. So I'm just gonna make only a few changes here and there. And right now I'm just gonna click on the flow, and I'm gonna make it by 1% because I want to dodge this portrait in other sides, and I just want to make small affections with a brush. So keep following my step by step, because this is how you can learn the retouch in Adobe Photoshop. So here's the before and after, what we've done so far with a dodge. And after we are done with a dodge, we're going to work with a burn. So here's the before and after of the Dodge. Now let's just check with the without the black and white, and I think that is looking better. Obviously it's better. And now I'm going to click on the burn and turn on black and white help layer again and keep working with the burn. Another way for Dodge and burn is that you can click here on the window, arrange, and choose new window. So right now I'm going to show you how you can dodge and burn like a pro, and choose again, click to window, arrange, and select two up vertical. So right now we have the same window in two windows. The reason why I do this is that you can dodge and burn without zoom in and zoom out. For example, you can just leave this left window smaller and just make the right window bigger. So for example, let's just zoom in just a little more, and I think it's okay. When you are dodge and burning in the macro, you have to zoom in and zoom out every time to see the changes, what's happening there. So when you do this method, when you create two windows, you don't need to zoom in and zoom out every time, because you have to check the left window. So everything that happens in the right window will show in the left window too. So you can use this method in the beginning. So let's just zoom in and check a before and after again. And I think that is looking okay. Now click on the burn again with a bigger brush. So I'm just going to make it bigger. And flow by 100 and opacity by 10%. I'm just going to paint to create some contours. So make sure that you do them correctly. I'm going to put some burn around the forehead, just a little under the lips, a little on the eyebrows. Now check it before and after of the burn, and I think that is okay, but we need to remove it just a little here because we painted too much. So here's the before and after, and I think that is okay. Now I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the burn by 50%, and I think that is okay. Now click on the dodge, and if you think that dodge is kind of too much, you can always reduce the opacity of that, but I think that is okay. So I'm just going to reduce it just a little. Now check a before and after of everything that we've done so far into this portrait. And now that we are done with frequency separation and the dodge and burn, it's time to work on some makeup details. So I'm just gonna click here on the eyeshadows that says pick a color and play it twice. I'm just gonna zoom in, and as you can see, we have some color of the makeup. So I'm just gonna put some more colors into this portrait. So I think that the color is kind of purple, but kind of too light. So I'm just gonna choose purple color and just paint it here with 100% opacity, so you can see what's happening here. And obviously 100% is kind of too much, so we are going to work with a lower opacity, like 10 or maybe 20%. Just paint it where we want to put some makeup. So here's before and after, and is looking better. So we are going to reduce it just a little and click on the other one. And here we have some kind of orange, yellow, just a little pink color. So I think that I'm gonna go with this one and just paint it here. Right now, check a before and after. And if you think that is too much, always reduce the opacity. For example, you can even put your own colors. For example, if the portrait doesn't have makeup, you can just play with these actions. For example, we're going to put some green color, but of course you have to reduce it to make this look better. But since we have the purple color, the green doesn't look that good. So I'm just gonna create another one, and right now I'm gonna paint with a black color just like that, and reduce the opacity by 10% and just paint it on the sides. Now switch to the white color. This one is for the highlights. So we are going to put some highlights here and check it before and after. It's looking okay, but it's kind of too much, so I'm just going to reduce it. Now click here that says eyeshadow pop, click play, and just paint over the eye makeup with 100% opacity. Just paint it over there. Now take a look, and it's so much better, but we are going to reduce it because 100% is always way too much. Now click here on the lipstick color and click play. Open the lipstick color, turn on a lipstick color that we want. And right now I'm gonna create a selection around the lips with the pen tool. Right click and click make selection. For the feather pixels, I'm just gonna click one and just paint it entire them just like that. So here's a before and after, and they're looking good, but I don't think that 100% is kind of too much. So I'm just gonna check them one by one, and I'm gonna select one of them, which I think that will be okay for this portrait. And I think that I'm going to stick with this one, but as you can see, 100% is kind of too much. So I'm just gonna reduce it just a little more. And yeah, I think it's okay. So in the beginning, as you can see, right now, the lines are kind of too sharp. So we are just going to click here, double click, and the properties will show up. And I'm going to increase the feather just like that. Now check it before and after again. And I think that is okay. But as you can see here, we have a gap that the color is outside the lips. So here we have the black color. We are going to paint it in the layer masks. And this is the way that we are going to remove the color. So here's the before and after, and it's okay. And as I said, I'm going to reduce the opacity because 100% is kind of too much. And right now they're looking better. Now check it before and after of this entire process, and I think that is looking okay. And now that we are done with makeup details, I'm just gonna play here the sharpen. Click play, wait until it's done, click on the basic contrast, and click here on the face contour. Now click here on the sharpen, and as you can see, the sharpen has a layer mask that is black, so we are going to switch it into white by clicking Ctrl and I. Zoom in, and here we have a before and after of the sharpen, and is way too much, so I'm going to go by 20%. Now click here on the contrast, so I'm going to reduce the opacity of the contrast by 25. Now click here on the contour. As you can see, is looking okay. So we are going to make some changes here. So this one is for the highlights, this one is for the midtones, and this one is for the shadows. So we are going to make just some changes with the highlights and just a little with the midtones. Now check it before and after. And I think that is looking okay, but I'm going to reduce it just a little. So here's before and here's after retouch. So right now that we are done with a retouch, it's time for some color grading. So for color grading, we have to create another copy of the background. Click Shift keyboard and click here, right click and group from layers and rename this retouch. Create another copy of the retouch, right click and merge group. So we have only a single layer of everything that we have done. Now click Ctrl and to make a selection around this window. Click Ctrl C, copy, go to File, New, and the selection width and height are automatically selected. So paste this into another window, merge these layers into a single one, right click and click here on the load actions because we have the actions in our creator Creators Bundle Pack 2023 and click load. Here we have the actions. I'm gonna choose only one of them. And I think that A11 and A7, they're looking good, but I think that I'm gonna go with A11. So I'm just gonna drag and drop this into the original window. And here we have the A7. I'm just gonna make some changes in the settings of this color grade. So here's the before and after, and I think that is looking okay. Now I'm gonna put another settings here. So I'm just gonna go to the black and white, switch the blending from normal to soft to luminosity, sorry, and make some changes here on the reds and yellows. Reduce this by 10% and put this inside the color grade group. Now click here again to the hue saturations and click on the reds. I'm going to reduce the red color and reduce the lightness of the red. Click here again to the yellows, do the same process. Switch the blending mode from normal to multiply and reduce this by 20. Put this inside, and here's before and after. So here's before and here's after. Here's before, after retouch. Here's before and after retouch with the color grade. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please don't forget to check all the links down in the description because you'll find the raw file and retouching actions. Leave some comments down below. Let me know if I'm understandable or not. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.